When we're talking about guardians for disabled adults, one of the questions that I get a lot is, well, do I actually need a guardianship? So sometimes parents will come to me and as their child is getting older, they'll question, do I need to actually have guardianship over my adult disabled child? And the answer that I find that usually makes sense is whether or not you really need it. I see people in different situations. Sometimes I see parents who hit some situation where they need a guardianship to get things done. I'll talk to other parents who will go along and really find that it never becomes an issue. So I would say really that that's more specific to your particular situation. So next question, should I appoint someone in my will as a guardian for my adult disabled child? People have different thought processes on this. It's really important for them to promote independence for their child. So a lot of times, if they don't feel like their child needs a guardian, then they really don't want to put a guardian in place. I do think it's important sometimes, though, to name a guardian, especially in the case of someone who is incapacitated, for an adult disabled child with cognitive issues. And the reason being is that we don't necessarily want to just leave that guardianship wide open. So the fear is that if their parent is not around, that someone, maybe even somebody that's really well-meaning, maybe they're well-intentioned, that they come in and they file for guardianship of that person. And so we don't want to just leave that wide open for anyone to be able to do that. By naming a guardian, it's an opportunity to exercise some control over who that person would be, even if we don't necessarily want them to be the guardian. So maybe we nominate that person as a guardian, and maybe we have a conversation with them and we tell them, look, we don't feel like our child needs a guardian. We won't want you to have to actually step into that role, but we're going to name you just in case, as almost sort of like a defensive move to make sure that if somebody else petitions for guardianship, that you're there. We've nominated you, and then that would give you a higher priority in terms of who should be guardian. But that's something that I recommend when really we want to promote independence, but at the same time, we may have some concerns that we don't want somebody coming in and get guardianship that we don't want to be in that guardian position. So who can name a guardian for an adult incapacitated person? So if that person is married, their spouse has the ability to name a guardian for them. By the way, they're naming a guardian on their death. Their spouse has the ability to say, on the spouse's death, they can name a guardian for that incapacitated person. For an unmarried person, their parent can name a guardian, so the parent of that adult incapacitated person can also name a guardian.